What's going on, everybody? My name's Noah from Digital Imprint Productions, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create some of those line characters from the new Disney movie Soul. So let's jump into After Effects. All right, so I'm going to be assuming that you have a bit of a base knowledge in After Effects. This is not a beginner tutorial. I'm assuming that you know how to use the pen tool, you know how to manipulate layers and objects in After Effects, pre-compositions, all that good stuff. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube on After Effects basics. I can actually link some down below. All right, so anyways, let's jump into it. I'm gonna start with a new composition. I'm gonna call it tutorial. My comp settings are 1920 by 1080p, square pixels, 30 frames per second, and we'll just make the animation length 5 seconds. Okay, so there we go. What we want to do now is we want to import our reference image, which I took a screenshot of the actual trailer, and we're going to import that reference image into our project by double-clicking the project window or Command I, and then navigating to wherever you saved your image file. So anyways, this is my reference. I'm dragging it onto the timeline. Now it's on my timeline. I'm going to hit S for scale it up a bit just so I can easily work a bit better. Scale it up a bit, and then I'm going to lower the opacity just slightly and lock the layer so that I don't accidentally move it around or anything like that. Okay, so what you're going to do after this is you're going to go grab your pen tool, then go to Layer, New, Shape Layer. You have your shape layer. Let's call this one. It's a good habit to rename your layers. If you're not really renaming layers and you have a big project with a million different layers, you're going to get lost super easily. Trust me, it happens all the time. So, well, not anymore because I name my layers. Anyways, main, outline, that's what we're going to name it. And then we're going to start with our pen tool selected, G for the pen tool. Then we're going to start at the bottom, slowly click around, go all the way up. Make sure you have your stroke also set to 2 pixels or however thick you want your stroke. You can just click that. Yeah, make sure you have your stroke set to solid color and 2 pixels and no fill. So if you click on the fill, just make sure it's set to none and you're good to go. So we're just going to keep going around our character. Just for the time's sake, I'm going to skip ahead. So here we go. This is what my character looks like after I've traced everything with the pen tool. And I'm going to show you some important settings that you need to change to really get your character to look like how they did it in the Disney movie. So I actually have 2 outlines here, 2 shape layers. One is the main outline, okay? And then one is this middle section that kind of divides the character in half and acts as like the mouth of your character. Okay, so for this path, you actually don't need to change any settings. Just draw the line and leave it at that. For your main outline, however, I'm going to show you some settings that you need to change in order to get it looking like the Disney movie. So what I did was I actually added a gradient fill. So how I did that, so I'll turn it off. I'll just go to Add right here, Gradient Fill. And then in my Gradient Fill settings, so I'm going to click the drop-down menu there, go to Edit Gradient right here under the Colors tab, Edit Gradient, and then I just pick a color similar to one that they had in the movies. I'm just going to sample this color right there. And then on the end of the gradient, I'm going to sample the other color just like that. Okay, and then you can mess with your start and end point to kind of just give it a bit of a fall off. However you like the colors, this is a matter of personal preference. Okay, so now pay attention to this part because this is an important setting. So if you look at the actual lines and how they overlap, it's the fill is kind of filling in everything and ignoring the overlap. So we want the areas that overlap to subtract from our character. So right here under this fill rule, you have to change non-zero winding to even odd. And that way we get our eyes being cut out like that and the hand and the like little armpit thingy there. Okay, so once that's set to even odd, you're good to go. I'm going to delete this and then turn back on my gradient fill. So I also changed the opacity from my gradient fill to 14%. And I believe you can change the blend mode to whatever you like as well. Depends what your background is or whatever you want, but you can get creative with it and really like customize your own character however you want. Same thing with the path too. You can change the path and really just make your own character using the same technique. But yeah, that's how I did it. Let's see. Stroke, you can also change your stroke width however much you want and get it looking good. So anyways, once you have your two layers like that, you're going to want to highlight them, right click, and press pre-compose. Okay, name the pre-comp to whatever you want. I already made my pre-comp. This is what you should be looking at if you pre-composed both your shape layers. Okay, so I'm going to show you some effects that I added. I have two glow effects stacked on top of each other. So the first glow effect is just a basic glow with a bit of, I adjusted the glow radius to 35 and I think I messed with the glow threshold. Nothing too complicated there. Then I duplicated my glow layer just to add a bit of more punch, a bit of more glow, if you will. So my second glow also messed with the radius and the threshold, getting it looking like how I wanted to. And I also changed color A to pink and color B to this purpley color. And I changed my color looping to triangle BAB. Okay, so I have these two settings. I'll get into the puppet one later, but for now, just have your two glows. Okay, so once you have the two glows on top of your layer, you can start creating a background. So I'm gonna just turn off my character for a second. My character pre-comp. I already made a background, but I'm gonna make another one with you guys. So I'll go to Layer, New, Solid. The color doesn't matter, just make sure it's the comp size, and we'll rename it to BG for background. So as you can see, I already made one, but I'm making another one for you guys. Okay, so once we have our background, we can go into our effects and presets and type in gradient ramp. Or you could do 4-color gradient, whichever you prefer. Again, this is like, you have total creative freedom with this. You can do it however you like. So start color, I just chose that like pinky purplish color that I got from my reference image. And then the end color, like a bluish color sort of thing. And then start of ramp, I just put it in the corner of my composition, and end of ramp, I put it in the bottom right corner. Okay, so that's it. That's all we have to do for the background. Okay, I'm turning my character back on, and as you can see, it has this fill to it that we made, and that fill, because of the lower opacity, is kind of blending in with the background to create our character here. So I think it's looking pretty good with the background. And what you can do now is, if you actually wanted to animate your character, what I did is I'm just going to hit U on my pre-comp, and I'll show you the adjustments I made to the character. So I actually used the puppet warp tool, and if I just turn it on, you'll actually, if I turn on the effect, you'll see what's going on here. Yeah, and these are all my keyframes. But you can get super into the puppet warp tool, like that could be an entire tutorial on its own. I just threw together some quick pins to kind of animate it simply. But there's, again, plenty of tutorials on puppet warp online that you can check out. Once you have your character built out, animate it however you want. These line characters, they're actually moving in 3D space. Like they're 2D characters, but they're interacting with a 3D environment. So I think that was a really cool effect. And yeah, you can easily do that by just enabling the 3D mode on that character layer. All right, there you have it. That's how we made this character from Disney's movie Soul. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Let me know if you have any comments down below, any feedback for me, or if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I really like this style of animation, really thought it was cool, so I really wanted to make a video about it. Enjoy, guys.